Hi, I'm Mark Beck.
And I'm Stephanie Thompson.
And I'm Meghan Salois. We're here with Remax Glacier Country, coming to you from Sunset Plaza in Kalispell, Montana.
And this is Selling Montana, a podcast about business, entrepreneurship, and real estate in Montana. And we have an amazing guest with us here with an amazing story to tell us, Angela Zuba of Waters Edge Winery and Bistro. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, y'all.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you very much. Could you say A for us?
A. We don't actually say that.
You don't actually say it?
No. A lot of stereotypes, but
There is a lot of stereotypes. Yeah. I
Well, it's
had
just like
to just
us.
get that one out.
When we say it's crazy out here, huh? You say it's crazy out here, eh? Don't you?
no, we just say sorry a lot.
Sorry.
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 So now you know where she's from.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yes. So obviously, Angela is from Canada. You're a Canadian citizen, and you're a business owner in the Flathead Valley. You're a very accomplished business owner.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. You've done a very good job. Thank you. You got a great product. I'm a customer. I've been a customer since the beginning.
Since the beginning, one of the
I
first.
love being a customer. The best food. And I like all the events you host there,
Oh,
too.
yes. It's exciting. We just like to keep things fresh and keep new people coming through the doors, for sure.
Yeah. So tell us about your visa and your immigration.
Oh, how long do we have?
You got a little time.
It's quite a long process. There's a lot of different ways to immigrate to the United States. Fun fact: the hardest country to immigrate in the world to is the United States of America, and the hardest country to immigrate there from is Canada.
Wow.
Even though we are friendly and just on the northern border. The easiest way to get to America and become a citizen, obviously, is by marrying an American. But my husband is Canadian, and we thought that was not the best route for us.
No.
Although during the process, we did consider some things. Anyway, so what we've done is we have what's called an investor's visa. So when a foreigner wants to invest in American companies, in employing American citizens, they will allow you to do so with a lot of rules and a lot of caveats, right? We have to employ U.S. people, we have to be profitable, and we have to be contributing to the community. So that's basically, in essence, how we've been able to accomplish this.
Yeah.
How long was that process?
Well, COVID put a huge wrench on it. Yeah.
You couldn't have opened at like a worse time. I mean, for a winery and bistro, a restaurant, you opened in the midst of a pandemic.
Yeah, well, the wheels had been turning for a solid year prior to the pandemic. So there's a lot of things that have to happen with wine, especially, right? It needs to be produced, it needs to be aged, and all of those things. And so we had everything basically paid for in essence and just waiting for our doors to open. And then COVID hit and put a pause on everything. I remember in January of 2020, waiting for my big, huge tanks to come down, and I get a phone call from the manufacturer saying, well, sorry, there's a delay. And I'm like, oh, what's the delay? Well, there's this thing happening in China, in Wuhan, and that's where your tanks are being created.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And, thinking, how does a virus in China affect my life here in North America?
Little did we know.
Little did we know.
That was the beginning, yeah. And it delayed us opening by probably 8 months.
Oh my goodness.
And delayed our visa from being processed by a year and a half. So we had to jump through a ton of hoops to lengthen our stay and make sure that we're in compliance with the government and able to operate our business. But it was interesting, that's for sure.
But it was totally worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now that it's all done, and we're coming up on 2 years in August that we've been open.
Crazy. That's awesome.
We're thrilled. We're happy. We're so busy. We can't keep up. We're constantly hiring. I'm in fear of running out of wine, which is a good problem to have.
It is.
Wow. Yeah.
You are so knowledgeable about wine too. It's crazy. When we did a bottling party, the three of us, for our clients.
We did, yeah.
I'm just amazed by the knowledge you have.
Thank you very much, because you helped pioneer that for me, because you gave me the idea. You were like, hey, Mark, have you ever thought of doing like labeled wines for closing gifts? And I'm like, No, but we just did, and let's do it right now. And I wanted to be first because I like to be first. And
you were first.
I was first.
You were first. I even have the picture still pops up on my Facebook feed, and we're very grassroots, and his wine is all over my kitchen table, and I'm hand labeling and doing all these things. And now we've got
you have a system.
So many realtors and brokers in the valley that have copied your unique idea.
Imagine that.
And
imitation.
We've extended it to VRBO rentals. People are giving that as gifts for their guests. And
it's a great idea.
It goes on and on and on. So thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. Good for you. Yeah. Awesome. Because you were like, man, if I could just get the commercial side of this going, like this would be fantastic. And like, bam, it worked. It was a great idea. What I was going to ask you, obviously, I don't think you guys know this, but Angela and I are neighbors. We live in the same neighborhood.
I did not know that. No.
We didn't know it until I was at the winery and all that. And I'm like, yeah, I live in Columbia Falls, live in Cedar Point. And you have owned property down here for quite some time.
Yeah, we've owned property down here for about 9 years now.
Oh,
okay.
And so that was, why we wanted to move down here. It's our happy place. We always say it's the best place on earth, and it took us that long to figure out a way to move.
To get here, yeah.
What did you do in Canada before you?
So I was the CEO of the Canadian Home Builders Association.
Oh,
so
wow.
Very corporate,
Very cool.
My job basically was government lobbying and advocacy for small business owners and assistance in them building their businesses. So it was kind of one day decided that I was done building other people's businesses and I wanted to
do one for your own.
Yeah. That's awesome. Wow.
So how did you find the Flathead Valley? Did you come here did you vacation here first?
Yeah, it was a vacation first. A husband and I had a brand new baby and said, well, we need to get away. And we said, we've never been to Kalispell, so let's go check it out.
Drive south.
And that was it.
Where did you live in Canada?
In a province called Alberta. So that is, you see Alberta plates around here all the time. It's about 2.5 hours straight north of here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, over Mariah's Pass.
Gotcha. Okay. So Waters, let's go back to your business. Waters Edge, best of the Flathead for 2 years now?
Yeah, so we entered our first year of business, 2021. We won Best Winery. And then shortly thereafter, the Chamber of Commerce awarded us Small Business of the Year. So that was amazing.
Oh,
wow. We didn't even know that one was coming. We didn't apply for it. We didn't, nominate ourselves. It happened.
Just organically.
So that was amazing. And then this year we won Best Winery again and Best Wine Selection. So
oh my gosh!
Awesome.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, congratulations. That's an amazing feat, and I think
first year of business,
and the fact that you're an immigrant. I don't take that lightly. Like that's a big deal. Like you've had to overcome. Everyone in America has the opportunity to create their own business, right?
Yep.
You did not have that opportunity. You really had to push to get the opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. One thing, when you're investing in immigrating into United States, the stipulation is that you have to spend all of the money first, and it has to be irrevocably at risk. And then they decide if you can come or not.
Whoa.
So
my
it's a
gosh.
huge
So you don't
risk.
spend all that money not even knowing if
you'll actually get it.
Yeah.
Correct. So because of COVID and all the delays, we had already opened. The money had already been spent. And a year after we opened, I had to go back to Canada, to Toronto, is the only place in the country with the U.S. Embassy that processes this type of visa. And literally with handfuls of binders and paperwork from the last decade of my life, financial, personal, everything, stand at a wicket in front of a U.S. customs officer, and he would decide at that moment, yes, you can go back to the United States, or no, you cannot.
Oh my gosh.
And there were people in front of me for the same type of visa that were denied.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's incredibly, it was terrifying. I was shaking.
That is terrifying.
Yeah. The level of risk there, which I love is you have to make it, right? Like I love that. And when you have no backup plan, no plan B, you must make it. You're going to put all of your energy. We're going to complete this task.
Succeed.
We're going to win.
There was no option for failure.
Yeah.
We had to,
No.
it had to work. Yeah.
Yeah, too many. I've seen some of your competitors and stuff, or too many other business owners that just have like wealthy parents, right? And they're like, oh yeah, they just set them up or whatever, and then they always fail. And it's like, oh, of course, you didn't have to succeed.
There was nothing to lose. Yeah.
Yeah, you have a million backup plans, right? But like us, we don't. There's no plan B. So plan A is gonna work.
Yeah. And everyone always says, well, how did you get the money? Where did it come from? And
hard work.
That is it. That is it. Yeah. You work and you save, and that's
you go without.
Yep, absolutely. Being in the corporate world and working with all these wealthy business owners back in Canada, you would see them flipping through vehicles, flipping through houses, boats and trips and all these things. And it was just like, we didn't do that, but now we have this and we get to live our lives in the best place on earth. So.
Totally. Yeah. And I would say you probably have a lot more freedom too. Like you've got, are you to the point where you can break away from the business a little more now?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe once a month I can get out for 5 minutes or so.
There you go.
I made it here today.
You made it here. I was just going to say that.
So we're getting there. Staffing is a challenge as it is for everyone in this valley, but we're growing at such a rate, and then you add the staffing challenges onto that, and it makes it difficult. So, we are hiring. There's a little plug. So
apply.
If you want to work at a winery.
Yeah. And it's really fun.
Yeah. Do you get some free wine from, is there some perks?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. I might just volunteer then.
There you go.
The real estate world doesn't work out. We could all go to Angela's Winery.
That's right. That's one thing. Alcohol is recession proof.
Yes,
it's true.
always.
That's true.
Yeah.
So what, is there any expansion plans that you can tell us about, or?
Well, we do want to expand. Absolutely. We are looking at adding another location in the valley. But it's just a matter of finding the right piece of land, the right piece of land in the right location. So hopefully within the next year we should have another location, and then there are some loose plans to branch out into some other states. But for right now, we're going to keep it local.
Yeah,
okay.
That's awesome.
Okay,
very cool.
Curious.
And all of your go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think yours was more on topic.
I was going to say, what type of land is specific? Because we might know someone.
Yeah, I guess you might know someone.
I know.
So either looking for an existing building that has a kitchen in it, because we want to expand our food delivery services, or even just a plain piece of land, and then we'll build on top of that.
Build to suit. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm looking in Columbia Falls specifically.
Columbia Falls. That's
smart.
what I was going to say.
That's really
That's where you want to go right now. Columbia Falls is definitely the growth spot. So
yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
And it's close to home.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just kind of a little on topic, but off. But I remember when I bought property in Columbia Falls, it would have been in like 2015, 2016. And people were like, "You are never going to get your money out of Columbia Falls."
That's the up and coming place.
And I was
now.
like, even back in 2016, I was like, Columbia Falls is going to be like Whitefish. Like,
it is.
It's going to grow. And now it was the best investment I ever made. And most people was buying land or houses in Columbia Falls. Like,
I know.
It's insane how much it's grown. And we were, I think 2012 or 2013 when we bought into that neighborhood. And it's just changed so much. If you even go downtown Nucleus, it's vibrant, it's hopping, all the things that are going on in that community. I think it's amazing.
Totally.
Yeah. You got nightly music down there on weeknights, and it's great. Sorry, so you were going to ask something.
It was off topic, but aren't all of your wines are named after birds?
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So we knew we were going to have a really deep varietal to draw from, a lot of different wines. And so I needed something that was local, but there was a lot of. I looked at mountain names and waters and things like that, and it just wasn't the right fit. But then I found out that there's over 10,000 birds that are native to Montana.
And
so
I didn't know they were all Montana
I didn't know that.
birds.
Yeah, they're
That's
all
awesome.
Montana birds. Well, and we've kind of branched out. There's a few random ones, and for our ciders, we are naming them mostly after bushes and trees that are also grow here.
So
cool.
Yeah.
So I guess I haven't been in a minute because I've been traveling and stuff. You have ciders now too?
Yeah, I was just going to ask what?
We have 3. So that we started with the first 2 in more of a traditional cider, and so there's the snowberry and the sagebrush. So one is a spiced apple, and then the other one is a raspberry lime. But then this brand new one that we just released this week, we have a lot of people that love to drink wine, but then their significant others drink beer. And so we're like, what can we do? The state doesn't allow us to make beer. So we did a hopped cider. It's a hopped oak, and it tastes like a hazy IPA. Looks like one, tastes like one. And it's just how we add some flavors and,
add some variety.
Heck yeah.
That's
so
awesome. You gotta come in and check it out.
Yeah.
I'm not a beer drinker. I mean, I used to be a beer drinker when I was 20.
But you're a
Keystone Light, whatever. 20. I should say 21. Yeah. That would be a lie though. But no. So I'm just not a beer drinker. But I just don't. Bloats me and all that, just like too much grain. But I love ciders; like it's a great alternative. So
and it's gluten free.
So
you get the taste, but you don't get that expansion.
Does wine have gluten in it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, because gluten comes from grain, right? And so wine's from vines, from grapes.
Well, and it's what's interesting about the wines that we make here too is they're also vegan. So that's something that's not commonly known, that most wines that are coming over from anywhere outside of America are not vegan. There's some clarifying agents in there that are derived from shellfish.
Oh my gosh.
So if you have a shellfish allergy or, you're a vegan,
wow.
certain
so
wines
scary.
you can't have. But ours don't have any of that. So
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So tell us a little more about your winemaking process. You source, I mean, obviously we're not really a grape growing part of the world. So Montana's a little chilly for that, but you get the juice of the grapes and
so we get the grape product. It's called must. So it's crushed down grapes and the stems and the skins and the seeds and all of that from all over the world. So we have a network of distributors and growers and buyers, and they procure these things for us. And then how the grapes can travel, it's fairly new to the wine industry. It's called thermal vinification. And so what that is as the grapes are picked and harvested, then they're heat treated at incredibly high temperatures for a very short period of time. And then they're packaged in basically airtight, big, huge bladders. And then they're shipped that way. And what that does is it stops any kind of radical yeast from spontaneously fermenting during the trip. And it also mellows out some of those tannins quicker. So then we don't have to age the wine as long as you would traditionally. Then it also allows the wine must to last longer. So if the grape was picked in 2018, we may not produce the wine until 2020. So it does it has a shelf life. So it's a newer process for making wine in urban wineries, right? So you don't have to have a vineyard now to have all those global varietals.
Sure. Yeah. And it's just not feasible to have a vineyard here. My dad tried to start a vineyard here.
Did he? Oh my goodness.
He bought 10 acres in West Valley, and he got specific grapes from the University of Michigan, I think.
Okay.
I'm blanking on the name of the grape, but they are like genetically modified to live in to grow in cold weather, and they were a grape wine. What? Oh, I can't remember the name of the grape. I'm going to remember it later, yeah. But anyways, the grapes grew. Like my dad actually, he ended up having to drop the property. He bought it in 06, I think, 07. And he was in real estate at the time and anyways, had to dump the 10 acres and had to, scrap the project. But he got a grant from the state of Montana to do this.
Wow.
He got I can't remember how much it was, but like Montana was actually, the agricultural department here was willing to invest in it because they thought it was a great concept. But Marquette grapes. Yes. That was the type of grape, and they were a newer grape, and I think they have done other. Am I right?
They've done there are still some grapes, Marquettes growing around. I haven't worked with them personally.
Okay.
But I hear that.
But they're in Montana.
They're doing okay.
Yeah, I think my dad sold some of those grapes, some of those starts or something. I think those are probably from his vineyard.
Well, I know that the state of Montana is putting grants out there continuously still for viticulture. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we will become a vineyard state. This will be wine country one day.
Yeah. Well, until we can grow a good Chardonnay here, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical.
That's awesome.
I would be too.
Oh my gosh.
But the interesting thing about what we can do because of this technology that we have is that we can take different wines and make them from different regions and then put them together.
Yeah.
And so you have varietals that, don't exist really, because, you know, I'll take a Chilean Carmenere and an Old Vine Zinfandel and then make them and put them together.
Cool.
And then you've got this new flavor that, you know, you just can't get anywhere else if you were in a traditional vineyard setting.
Right. Because you've only got so much room, so many grapes that you're going to grow to be profitable. And so trying to pull from different segments is without this technology is not feasible.
And growing is the biggest risk, right? You have a bad season and your whole crop is wiped out.
Yeah.
And then you have no wine that year.
So with COVID, is there like going to be supply shortages, do you think?
We're coming out of that.
You're coming out of that. Okay.
Coming out of that.
All right.
And the supply, the supply shortages weren't necessarily in the product itself. It's in the shipping. That's where the delays were coming from. So shipping, getting wine bottles, getting empty glass has been, you know, we're starting to get out of that now, but it was a huge problem for, you know, about a year.
Yeah. Because most of your product is global, right? So depending on the COVID restrictions in that country where the grapes were being made, I mean, I don't know, they might be behind. And I've heard about, you know, food shortages coming and, you know, crops not growing. Also because like Ukraine is a major, Russia and Ukraine are like major fertilizer creators. Yeah. So I've heard that there's going to be a lack of fertilizers but does that affect grapes at all? Do you use fertilizing?
Some vineyards do.
Okay.
There's organic ones, but you know, I think it's mostly just pest control.
Pest control. Gotcha. Okay.
Insects and weeds and things like that.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
Mother Nature does a really good job in those regions where grapes grow of making that happen. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think what these problems are, if there is going to be shortage of fertilizer or whatever the shortage is, it's an opportunity for domestic.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
For other entrepreneurs to pick up those products and start manufacturing.
Right.
Rather than having to rely on others. I think, you know, we've grown into this global economy where you export what you're good at, and you import what you're not good at, but it's kind of going backwards. You know, the wars and the COVID and some of the division that's happening is making every country reevaluate what they're doing, right? Yeah. And how they're achieving their GDP. So and maybe just doing some more things locally.
Totally.
It is. I think it really, maybe not for everyone, but COVID was a huge eye opener that we have to have manufacturing here in the United States. Mm-hmm. We can't rely on everything to come from Wuhan. Just your tanks.
Exactly.
You just, because COVID's not going away. Like that's not, there's still new resurgences, and I saw China was shut down again. Parts of China were shut down again. So I think we have to come to grips with Americans are going to have to manufacture again. Americans are going to have to work again.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting close on time. So is there anything that you're wanting to add?
I think we covered a lot. I'm just so glad that you folks are doing this and putting a spotlight on local businesses and entrepreneurs and what's happening in the marketplace. And it's valuable information. And I just, I can't wait to see it and hear it and see who else you have on the show.
Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, we love doing it and putting it all together. So
perfect. Well, one shameless plug, come down and see me on the corner of Highway 2 in Reserve.
Yes.
Perfect.
We got to come have another bottle party.
Yes. More wine. Always need more vino. Well, thank you so much for watching and joining us. If you would please like, share, subscribe, help expand our viewership. We would love to get this content out to more people just like you.